Welcome into episode 44 of Ramie and Drew live on April 15th, 2024. We're a couple of Milwaukee comedians. We just talk sports and whatever else comes to mind. Usually, Drew, I have to look down at the corner of my computer and verify the date before I say it at the start of the show, as I usually try to do,
Tax
just to let people
day!
where we know. But I know because it's tax day, because I filed my taxes today, Drew. I did. Are you an early filer? We're gonna get into the Bucks in a second, but like and by the way, my dad texts me every tax day. God bless him, just to remind me that they're due today because he thinks I'm still a teenager. I guess he's like, hey, every April 15th, not on my birthday. I can't count on a birthday text, Drew, but every April 15th, I can count on my dad texting me like, hey, did you file your taxes? They're due today. Like, yeah, I know, man. I'm 44. I'm 44 years old. I know. I know when tax day is.
Look, man, we got friends that were like, holy shit, I filed my taxes for the first time in like 6 years. I got back like $8,000. I'm like, you could have had like 1,000 every year. You know that. No, I'm an early filer. It just hit in my account today. I did check to see. I filed back at the end of February though.
Okay, I got no problem with you being an early filer or anybody else. My problem is a lot of early filers, they seem to judge us last second filers. Like, you're going to get more money or extra credit somehow because you filed early compared to me. It's the same thing. Like, whatever I had to pay, I would have had to pay a few weeks ago. Whatever I'm getting back, and I'm not going to tell people whether I'm paying or getting back. It's none of your goddamn business, quite frankly. But it would just, if I was getting something back, it would just be sitting in my bank account. It changes my life none. There was no reason to rush. There was zero reason to rush whatsoever, and I'm tired of being judged for this.
Here's actually why I did it. It's because for me, I'm like, okay, this is already the money I worked for, and it's free money. I need new tires for my car. So like, I was like, all right, like that's
fair enough. If you need that money, fair enough.
Yeah. That's my splurge thing is like, I need new tires. Like, my front tires are getting a little bald, and because I have an all-wheel drive car, I need to do all four at once.
Can I tell you that's a good thing? That's a good thing to spend your tax return on. Since we just got on it and the audience is still building, so let's save the Bucks talk for a few minutes. I see y'all jumping in. I appreciate you. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. But I'm in a debate right now, Drew, with the girlfriend. I want my backyard and my front yard, just a mess. It's just a mess. I can't grow grass. I don't know if it's my property doesn't get enough sun. I don't know if I'm not good at it. Now I'm going to try to grow grass in the front. I feel like I have to. In the backyard, my proposition, Drew, tell me if this is crazy. And I want to put my tax return money towards this.
Let me pause you.
Go ahead.
If this is like a patio and barbecue situation, I have my support.
It is. Well, partially, yes. I have a pretty small yard. I live in Bayview. You've seen my yard, Drew. I think most people who know houses in Bayview, or really any neighborhood in Milwaukee, you know the size of the backyards for the most part. I want to do like a third or a half of it, like brick patio of some sort, and then the rest astroturf. I want to put astroturf in my backyard.
So what I'm saying is, you are ready to blow out your Achilles when you melt half the grass because you were using your grill, your plastic grass.
Is that a terrible idea? I found astroturf that looks good. They come in squares. They come in 1 foot squares. You buy them in 6 square foot quantities. I think I'd need probably like four of those. So like 24 square feet to fill in the part of the yard that I want to fill in. And I looked at the pictures. I think it looks pretty good. Drew, is that tacky? Is that being a lazy homeowner if I put astroturf in my backyard?
I don't even know if that's being a lazy homeowner, because like, I own a condo because I didn't want to shovel. So like, I was like, that's being lazy, as I don't want to get up at like 4 a.m. to like scrape my car off in a Wisconsin winter because I got to go work. I'm farm to table, dude. I roll out of bed, I'm going into work. Like that's it. I shower before bed. Like, like that's me being lazy. What you're doing is like it's when you're like, oh, it's like practical, but like that, dude. Like I don't even know. Like that's like angling backsplash, so it just all the shit you get on it just like runs into the sink. That's like I understand what you're thinking, and like there's a level of like functional that like dudes go with. Like we can live with pretty much like minimal amounts of things, and it's like I don't know, man.
I think it would actually be pretty cool. I'll show you the pictures. I'll send you the pictures later. Like they have them in the in the Amazon ad. They show you what it'll look like, and I think it'll look pretty damn cool back there. I'm gonna put lights. It's gonna be a whole thing, and it's nice and it's cheap. It's low maintenance. I think it's a great idea.
Are you also just gonna shave all of your facial hair off and just like Sharpie your beard and mustache on? Because that's basically what backyard. That's great. You're talking great. You thought it was crazy your dad hits you up on tax day. You're like, I'm 44. You're like, also, I'm going to spend my tax return on astroturf. Dude, now I think your dad has a point and your girlfriend has a point.
Q says, dude, astroturf is huge out west.
They don't have water.
Mandatory.
Q, are you talking about Las Vegas? What the fuck,
man? I could be
out west.
I could be one of the first. I could be one of the first to do it here.
People also get stabbed at Dodger games out west. Like that's also not acceptable.
All right, let's get into it. And I'm gonna put up a poll. I'm gonna put up a poll to see if astroturf is a no in the backyard. Let's get into this Bucks team, Drew. That was not how you wanted to go into the playoffs there. They lost yesterday against Orlando. That made it 7 of their last 10 that they lost. Giannis is still injured. Dame is seems to be having something tweaked all the time. Chris Middleton, he wasn't able to stay healthy much of the season. Like to me, Drew, that's the most concerning thing. We've talked a lot about the fact that the starting five with Beasley, and that's changed, but the starting five with those 3 guys healthy and in there, the most efficient starting 5 in the NBA. And we saw out of the All-Star break how good they could be for about a 10-game, 12-game stretch there. But the problem is they can't seem to all stay on the court, and you go limping and losing into the postseason. This is not what you wanted to see.
I don't think that health is going to be an issue going into the game because until they rule Giannis out, I'm pretty confident he'll be back. If he's not back for game 1, I think he will be back for game 2. I don't think what happened last year is going to happen this year where we're going to be cautious and let Giannis sit, especially with how inefficient this offense has been. I want to say the one positive thing, because I told you this is what I was looking for after we beat Orlando on Thursday. I was looking for Bobby Portis. How does he follow up on the road against the same team? Because that's essentially a mini playoff series right there. And Bobby Portis had a good game. He was probably the only one who had a good game on Sunday. Maybe you could say probably Middleton also. But Dame was putrid. This was absolutely not the Damian Lillard that we needed. And, I've been affording him a lot. I've been kind of arguing and watching people fall off the wagon. I know our friend Eric Smith has given me shit about not supporting Dame as much as I probably should. That 2 of 14 shooting performance was miserable. And the amount of times that he went up and was like being a foul merchant, dude, you're not getting those calls when Giannis is on the floor. The refs will not allow a game where Giannis and Damian Lillard are at the line 30 times in a night. Giannis gets obviously fouled, and they cannot go, well, did it happen? Did it not? Was he shooting? Was he not? You know that when Giannis gets fouled, it's a foul. When Damian Lillard gets fouled, that's borderline, and they're looking for him to not call it. And now, like, his post game where he was talking about guys not being focused. Are we talking about ourselves here, Dame? Is that who's not focused? Jay Crowder not jumping up for rebounds. Lazy passes, out at the perimeter. Middleton can't be a thing going into the playoffs because he does the thing where he backs guys down at the perimeter and loses the ball every time. Then we get him, getting double teamed, and he throws a ball, and then the guy he's passing to, this is 5th grade shit, where it's go to the ball, go up for the ball. Don't wait for the ball to get to you because Indiana's younger than you. Orlando's younger than you. Goddamn 76ers, they're younger than you. Every team, but basically the Celtics and even Tatum and Brown are younger than you. They are going to jump those passing lanes, and they are going to go off to the races because you have one guy who can catch any of these dudes. It's a big problem that they got going on there. And focus. Oh, I thought I saw something. I don't know if this was a meme thing that Giannis is on vacation right now. Okay, cool. If he's in Greece or whatever he's doing, fine. Go swimming or something. I don't really care.
But I mean, they got what, a week off before the actual playoffs start. So yeah, go ahead, go on vacation.
But the rest of those guys, they better be in the goddamn gym working right now. If I put up more shots after work today than they did, that's an issue. That's a big problem. Because
did you put up some shots after work today?
What?
Did you put up some shots? Were you hooping?
No,
I said, did you put up some shots today? Were you hooping?
No, I didn't have time. But that's the problem. Damn. If I'm doing more, because what if I go to the gym at 9 o'clock? What if I go to the gym?
How many shots are you putting up? How many shots are you going to put up if you go to the gym at 9 o'clock tonight?
Probably more than all of them. Probably 200. I don't know.
And Drew, I'm not saying, my point is I'm not saying anything that you're saying is untrue when you talk about the lack of focus, when you talk about some of just the match, and we'll get into the specific matchup with the Pacers here in just a second. Appreciate y'all checking us out. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. It's the Ramie and Drew Show, episode 44. But I've been saying this. I have faith that they can flip the switch. All the things that you're pointing out, valid, true, could come back to kill them in the playoffs. I still believe that if healthy, they can flip the switch. But compared to how I could be feeling, are you going to burn that? Don't burn that. Compared to how I could be feeling about this basketball team, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 1. But a 1 still believes, you know what there was, except for Giannis or Dame or something like that going down with the season-ending injury, very little was going to happen this season that was going to make me go, no, they can't win a championship. I still think they can win a championship, but I don't feel as good about this thing heading into the playoffs as I could or as I should because of everything that you're talking about right now. And on top, at the very top of that list is just what seems to be an inability for the big three to be on the court at the same time. I made this comparison the other day on the show. It was a major critique or a major talking point of mine going into and throughout the Bucks Nets series in 2021, where everybody was going, well, the Nets are just more talented. They just have more star power. And I was going, yeah, but those guys were on the court for 7 games all year. Are you sure that they can stay on the court for 7 straight games of a playoff series? And it turned out I was right. They put all their eggs in a very, very fragile basket. You could make the same argument about the Bucks, but beyond that is everything else that you're talking about. And like I said, compared to how I could be feeling about this team and how confident and happy and how much I'd be enjoying this season at a 10, I'm at a 1, but a 1 still believes that they can do this. Is that crazy?
If they get out of the first round, it's going to go up a lot. I'm at a 6 going in against the Pacers, and I've been one of those guys saying we can beat the Pacers because honestly, call me crazy. I look at the entire roster and I go, every position we have is better than every position they have. Damian Lillard is better than Halliburton. I'm going to go with Malik Beasley, probably better than Benedict Mathurin. I'm going to go with, Chris Middleton, better than, I don't even know who the fuck they got out there half the time. Giannis, obviously the best player. And I'll even go Brook Lopez is better than fucking Miles Turner. I'm going to sit there and say that all those guys are better. And I think Bobby Portis is a better sixth man, especially now that they got rid of Buddy Hield on their team. I am not afraid of this team, but I am afraid of the Bucks' focus. Can they honestly play 48 minutes of basketball? Because we scored 12 points in the second quarter yesterday. They went like 7 minutes without a basket. That's insane. For that, even with just Middleton and Dame out there, where you got two pure shooters out there and they can't get it to go, dude. And it's like, if Dame was seriously hurt, if he had his little abductor strain or whatever that they've been listing him, yes and no, questionable, yes and no. If it was bothering him, you should have sat him anyways. Cleveland sat all the guys yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, Donovan Mitchell didn't play. Darius Garland didn't play. I don't think Mobley played. They sat like everybody. They didn't care about where their seating was. They're like, we're just going to go be healthy.
At all.
You know, or that could have been like when we blew Boston out that one game. It could have been like that, where they could have just been like, all right, all the starters now, Middleton and Dame, you guys aren't playing the second half. Like, we got to just get out of this one, you know, kind of scoreboard watch and see what it was. Because up until the fourth quarter, when they got a steal and then hit a three on us, Dame was getting ready to come back into that game. I can't think that Dame was that hurt, that this wasn't a problem. Like, that game looked bad yesterday. That put a bad taste in my mouth. And that was, I know like one game doesn't make the whole season, but it's like every single year we listen to Giannis say things like, you got to build good habits. I believe Giannis thinks that. I believe he believes that. But you know
Marcus, oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Marcus Johnson. Who was the color analyst yet? Was it Novak on Bally's yesterday? He made a good point that and you could tell in the second quarter when Orlando went on that run and they were pounding their chests and he was like Orlando came to play today. Orlando is not treating this like game 82. They're treating this like a game that they really want to win, and they have playoff type of intensity. Even if the Bucks didn't have that coming in, unless you're just going to shut everybody down, unless you're going to say, Dame, we know you're dealing with the whatever it is. Chris, we know you need days off to get the knee back right. Whatever it is, unless you're giving up, when a team presents that type of challenge and presents that type of energy, and you don't match it, even without Giannis on the court, I think that's a bad sign going into the playoffs.
Yeah, like I said, there were just lazy passes in the second half. Just the guy just kind of throws the ball into somebody. There's no snap on that ball, and dudes are just reaching over and knocking it away. Everyone, like young guys like Gary Harris, knocking that ball away and just off to the races. He did it twice in a row to us.
Yeah.
And learn, and you did the same thing. Like, this is when Charles Barkley says we're a dumb basketball team. That's exactly what that was. The Bucks seem like they have entitled their way into thinking that they were the best team out there. They're not playing like it. Talent-wise, they are, I still think, as good or if not better than the Celtics, but they don't know how to be a good team. And now you got 82 games, and you can say the laziness, that wasn't an Adrian Griffin problem, and that's not a Doc Rivers problem. This is the personnel on this team, and maybe they're all a little comfy, and maybe now looking at the trade deadline, somebody had to go. Pat Connaughton, maybe it was you. I hesitate to say Bobby Portis.
Yeah.
No one's job should have been safe.
No, and we said that at the trade deadline that if the right trade was to present itself, we'd be willing to part with Bobby or Pat or just about anybody else not named Giannis or Dame or Chris. But I'm not going to change my mind on that now. And honestly, both Bobby and Pat, but especially Bobby, have really shown you how valuable they can be in the second half since the All-Star break. And when guys go down with injuries, they seem to be, and again, especially Bobby, the guys that step up. We saw it in the last game against Orlando that Giannis missed, where Bobby had that huge game. I don't remember his numbers off the top of my head, but had that huge game and got them a win. So I'm not gonna backtrack on that now. I'm okay with the moves and the non-moves that they made at the trade deadline. I don't know what was out there to say yes or no to from other teams in terms of offers, but I'm not upset that those guys are still around, and I don't think that's the problem. I don't think that that's the problem for the Bucks right now.
No, I mean, I don't know if you lurked in the group chat today when me, Eric, and Ryan were talking about all of this
I was
stuff.
doing my taxes. I couldn't. I
Yeah.
was getting the taxes done.
But no, I was saying that this right now, this all hinges on Damian Lillard. It's like I held up the jersey. He's my favorite player. I want him to win that ring single-handedly, honestly. I would love for him to get a finals MVP. I would love for him just to go nuclear like what Jimmy Butler did last year. I would love it. But like right now, I don't know if he has enough time to click this into gear with this team. Now I'm starting to think, is he unhappy in Milwaukee? Like, does he not like?
No, I don't think that's the problem.
That's not the Stephen A. Smith shit talking, because we can talk about that whole thing.
Actually, Daniel on YouTube said, "Do we trade Dame if we can't make it out of the first round?" That was something that Stephen A. Smith proposed on the old First Takes earlier today, I think.
No,
You don't.
Contract for 4 years. You give him one more full year with Doc Rivers, Giannis, and Chris. That's what you do. Yeah, I think that would be a rash decision. And now, Daniel, if you want to type it out and make another comment here, because I would actually like your answer about this. Who do you trade Damian Lillard for that doesn't signal a rebuild? Because I see people in the Milwaukee Bucks Nation talking about we need to go, trade Damian Lillard for Jalen Brunson, and people saying shit like that. You think the Knicks are going to give up Jalen Brunson because of how Damian Lillard played this year? Jalen Brunson, Brunson was not an all-star starter. Dame got all the votes because of Milwaukee and Portland voting for him. Brunson probably should have been an all-star starter, and Dame might not have even made the all-star game as a selection by a coach.
Yeah, Dame made it on reputation, which we said at the time, and I still stand by this. I don't have a problem with. That's how it's been for a long, long time. But he made it largely on reputation and what he's done in past years.
Because right now, I don't know who you get outside of Steph Curry that is an upgrade at the point guard position to trade for Damian Lillard. I don't know who you get.
You're right. If you're trading Dame, I mean,
you're reloading.
Okay. Let me throw this out there. What if it's to get Trae Young? And I know you hate Trae Young. No, hold on. No, I'm not saying it from the angle of do you like the trade or not. You don't. I don't. I think most people watching or listening to us right now probably don't. Thank you for watching and listening. Follow on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, and all the good things. I'm just saying if it wasn't that type of deal, or is Zach LaVine. Again, I wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it. Nobody watching or listening would like it. It wouldn't signify a rebuild. Those are guys that you're getting to come in and help you win right now. However misguided that might be. I'm just throwing some names out there that wouldn't necessarily signify a rebuild.
And Damian Lillard has been pretty much mostly durable all year long. I think him and Giannis, each missed 9 games, maybe something like that. I think Dame missed under 10 games this season.
Yeah, I can check it out. By the way, Daniel answered your question. He says Tyrese Maxey and a couple other players from Philly. They're not trading Tyrese Maxey.
But what if Philly advances? Is Tyrese Maxey gonna? I mean, are they gonna let go of Maxey? Like, because Maxey had a great start to the season, but he kind of trailed off a little bit. Yeah, the Sixers were the first team in NBA history to have 2 guys have 3 games with 50 plus points in them. And that was and Embiid, obviously. So Maxey can score, but I guess with the Doc Rivers fit, I want to give another full year to Damian Lillard, because I just, there's no way he is this inconsistent of a player. If we're going to use the Chris Middleton slander word, he's not inconsistent like this. He's not a bad basketball player. I just don't know what the hell going on right now with him. 82 games, this is rough. And then also it's even worse by when you see what Grayson Allen did this year, and you see that Drew Holiday just got his big extension from the Celtics. It's like, if we win a championship, it's all worth it. It's fine because Drew got paid because of his role. Grayson, does Grayson have the ability to grow the way he grew this year on this roster? Probably not, with the way we play with Giannis. So I don't know.
I forgot who it was. It might have been our buddy Ty Windish, who they tweeted when both Grayson Allen and Drew Holiday got their extensions. They said, really smart of them to get it now before the playoffs start. Glad they got the bag because both of those guys have had some history of struggling a little bit in the playoffs. So, but you know what? So does Doc Rivers. So so we'll see if we can say the same thing about Doc. So we'll see if those guys can live up or go beyond those expectations in history that they have.
My other point also, like we talked about health. So like just entertain the hypothetical of like trading for Trae Young. He missed a ton of games this year. So if we're talking
Dame played in 73, so he missed 9 games, which is not bad at all.
Him and Giannis, the exact same thing. Both of them, both 9 games. That's better than every other superstar on damn near every other team out there. Like Trae Young, he was hurt so much. So I was like, okay, now he's our point guard. Let's just hypothetically say that. Now you got Middleton and you got Giannis. Are those guys playing together as much as Dame, Chris, and Giannis could have this year? Hell no. He's going to be out. So now you got to go get yourself another backup point guard. I mean, I'm all for them re-signing Pat Bev for like a 2-year deal or something like that.
Same.
I like him. I think Pat Bev would be a great guy to bring back. He's a good,
and I think he's a guy that, if the shit hits the fan and this thing starts to fall apart, he's a guy that other teams will trade for, and you can get something for in some kind of teardown.
Right. And that's it. And that's the biggest thing. If you get rid of Damian Lillard, people that want this to happen now, if we go out, you're signaling to Giannis that, one, we hired the coach you wanted. You were wrong for that. We got the guy that you want to play with. You were wrong for that. Now what you're doing is you're going to tell Giannis we're probably trading you too, because you are not going to go and get NBA level all-star caliber players to come in for Damian Lillard if he played as poorly as everyone says he did this year, as everyone thinks that he played this year, as the numbers and the eye test kind of say, yeah, he didn't play up to what we expected. You're signaling to Giannis that this is a rebuild, and he said he does not want to be part of a rebuild. So what are you going to do? You're going to wait 3 years to develop somebody? You're going to go get a couple first-round picks and then develop them, be a 5 or 6 seed maybe? Because, I mean, right now, this team without Giannis out there for some of these games, they look like a fucking play-in team. And that's with Lillard.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I still say, and I know this might be crazy, I still think they are the second best team in the Eastern Conference when healthy. And that's a huge disclaimer to put on it. Those last 2 words, when healthy. And I'm talking about the big 3 of Giannis, Dame, and Chris. When those 3 guys are on the court, and I think Brook Lopez is a big part of it too. And whoever is starting at point guard obviously has to do their part. But when those 3 are on the court, I still think they're the second best, if not the best team in the Eastern Conference. Falling into the 3 seed doesn't change my mind about that. I don't think the Knicks are coming out of the East. I don't look at anybody in the East and go, yeah, I could see them playing in the finals, except for the Celtics and the Bucks. That's where I'm at with this thing. And you mentioned that you think that the Bucks are better top to bottom. I haven't really given my thoughts on the first round matchup with the Pacers that starts on Sunday. We'll be live after that one, if my computer cooperates. We were supposed to be live last night with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, who, by the way, congratulations, Sparky just got off the air with Wisconsin Sports Daily, his first show back on afternoons on 1250 AM The Fan. If you don't know about that, go check it out. Weekdays 2 to 5, 1250 AM The Fan, and on your Odyssey app. Congrats to my boy Spark Dog. But I forgot what I was just talking. Oh yeah, the Pacers first round matchup. I feel good about it. I think they can win, but Drew, we'd be kidding ourselves. And a lot of the reasons why are reasons that you've pointed out and reasons that the Bucks have struggled all season long. We'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't say they've had a matchup problem with this Pacers team this season.
Yeah, they had a problem. And like I said, I write off everything that happened at the beginning, until we got Doc. I basically write off that whole Adrian Griffin thing because we played the Pacers all under Griffin, and Doc was not consulting on this team. I mean, he was watching the in-season tournament. We all know, like everyone said it, like that he's watching the in-season tournament. So he watched us lose to the Pacers. He probably, they were getting ready to fire Griffin when we were playing the Pacers on New Year's Day, and then the 2 days after, like he saw all of this happen. He saw us lose leads late in games. He knows what we did wrong. They gotta have tape. They're gonna have tape. They gotta be in the lab looking at this.
Yeah.
Like, so that it's just going to come down to, can the players stay focused? I think guys like Pat Bev, Bobby Portis, I think they're locked in. I think those guys are going to play. I think Chris Middleton will be the metronome, but my big outlier, unfortunately, is Dame. Can you be better than Tyrese Halliburton? And you know what? We saw it. It was just an exhibition in the All-Star game. You walked in there, you took the three-point contest from him, and you took the goddamn All-Star game MVP from him. So now take this from him.
Oh, well,
Whoa. I didn't want to do that.
That's
That's
not
not what I was trying to do.